Hi, it's Bill from Hobbyling International. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, then you'll get notified of future videos. Well, you will if you click on the bell that's down there somewhere. Today I have a look at a new kit from Flyhawk. This is a limited edition one. It's actually the first kit I've seen of theirs with some 3D printed parts inside it. But this is 1/700th HMS Aurora from 1941. Okay, so this is a new kit from Flyhawk. This one's a limited edition one. FH 1157, HMS Aurora 1941, 1/700th scale, full hull Flyhawk with bonus parts. There's brass barrels, looks like there's some 3D printed parts, a photo etch fret as well. Also, what supplied separately, Flyhawk have also released a wooden deck for this kit and also the masks. I think generally you probably wouldn't use both because you'd paint everything then put the wooden deck down, that's the deck covered, or you'd be paint the deck then put the mask down to protect it and paint everything else and then remove the masks. But these two are out there so you can buy them. So HMS Aurora 1941 had an interesting life. Is in the Mediterranean for a lot of time, basically hunting down Italian convoys and the like. Got damaged, had a refit. She was slightly different after 1943, and then transferred to China as the Chongqing, which you'll see Flyhawk have also released them. Basically using the same sprues as the Chongqing, also the same sprues was the Chongqing, and they've also had HMS Aurora 1945 as well. Interestingly, she was given to the Republic of China after the war, and then in the Chinese Civil War the whole crew and ship defected to the communist side. And then she was sunk by her original owners, the Republic of China, and eventually refloated and turned into a barracks and warehouse. She was no good anymore as a ship. So there's a neat picture of basically the box art. A bit of background in the back. Yeah, pretty much what I said. She was an Arethusa-class light cruiser. Instructions, Flyhawk's usual layout. I'll scan these and they'll be on the website. The link is underneath the video. The usual sort of way of doing things with lots of small frets. Yeah, these are 3D printed parts. You've got barrels, brass rods, PE fret, and yeah, the usual instructions. Bits of colour to help you out, identify parts. But as I said, I'll scan all these and put them on the website. Then we have these many bags of things. So lots of plastic parts. The whole halves in the usual way. They've wrapped in foam and then elastic band either side. As usual, sort of top and bottom. There's a lower hull plate if you want to do waterline. So you do have the option. It is full hull, but you don't have to. There's the side of the ship. Very nice detail. You can see plates, portholes. That's quite nice. There's the decks, forward and aft. Again, there's planking detail, lots of really nice detail on there. There's a metal bar if you want to do add some weight to it for the waterline version. Decals, just some Royal Navy ensigns. Photo etch sheet. I think the brass barrels are in here somewhere too. Oh, let's see if I can open it. It looks like it's stapled at the top, so this might not come out. Oh, hang on, there's two things here. Hang on. Ah, there we go. Photo etch sheet. Brass barrels are underneath. And there's some really small ones there as well. Yeah, so what is it there? 50, 60 parts or something. So I'll take photographs for all that as well. And here's the bit I'm interested in looking at. If I can open this. The 3D printing. Ships, boats, some of them superstructure, anti-aircraft gun platforms. There's pretty fine parts there to cut away. It's all flexible. It's like a soft. It is actually a soft resin. It's not a hard, solid resin. So that'd be interesting. So anyway, I'll photograph everything. Photos will be on the website. Scans of everything. What I'll do next is I'll just choose a few parts and a few steps, and we'll have a close-up look at some of the parts. Okay, so in this kit there is 334 plastic parts on 31 frets, roughly, 11 separate bigger parts, a PE sheet with about 115 parts, decal sheet, 24 brass barrels and other brass parts, one large metal plate, 21 3D printed parts, a small decal sheet, 2 instruction sheets, and an image of the box top along with a brief history of the ship. And then we start with step 1, where mostly we're putting the hull together. You have an option of full hull or waterline. In this stage it's also putting the first parts of the superstructure on as well, but obviously you may wish to add those later. Don't forget there's also available separately a masking sheet and wooden decks for this from Flyhawk as well. Step 2 starts off by assembling all the main turrets. Obviously in this kit you'd use the brass barrels instead of the plastic ones. And essentially you're starting throughout the build from now onwards, you're starting at the front and working our way aft as we go through the steps. Each step is pretty big with quite a lot going on. As I said, step 2, once the turrets are done, add some other small parts at the front of the ship, and it also starts working on the 3D printed bridge, adding lots of small parts to that and quite a lot of photo etch pieces as well, lots of fine detail going in. Step 3 is sort of the forward midships. Assemble the crane from photo etch, adding more small photo etch parts. The main bridge goes in at this stage along with another part of superstructure, some ship's boats as well, and again the usual lots of small parts for this build from Flyhawk. Step 4 is again moving a bit more aft but still sort of amidships. Install the funnel. There's a searchlight platform either side of the funnel that goes in at this stage, seems to be completely made out of photo etch. Assembling the forward mainmast from the brass rod that's supplied. You're given dimensions down to 1/10 of a millimeter in getting it right. And again more small parts going amidships, more small ships, boats, some more superstructure parts, torpedo tubes as well, and making the depth charge rollers completely out of photo etch as well. Step 5 has you working at the aft end. You make another mast from plastic and brass rod. Anti-aircraft guns with brass barrels go in. Lots of small parts. The depth charge rollers that you made in the previous step go on, davits, life rafts, and basically lots of small final details going in. And then right at the very bottom, step 6 shows you the layout of the railings, which railing frets go in which places, and then essentially you're finished. So paints and decals. Paints are called out by name: Mr. Hobby, Tamiya and Colour Coats. You get port and starboard views and a top view and of both the ship and the ship's boats and dinghies as well. Plenty there to do everything. It's a reasonably straightforward painting scheme. There's no camouflage on the side. It all should look quite well. You get a small decal sheet with Royal Navy ensigns on it, and then the build is complete. So in overall conclusion, it's obviously up to Flyhawk's usual standards. You can tell from the part count, the amount of photo etch, and the size of the small parts as well, even down to binoculars. It's obviously very similar to their other Arethusa-class kits. It's the first one I've seen of theirs with 3D printed parts on it. Those look quite nice. And all should do quite nice. This is a limited edition one, so if you want to get one, you best get one sooner rather than later. There's only 800 going to be made. And I've put a link in the on the website as to a place that's selling right now at a fairly reasonable price. Anyway, it's a very nice kit and should look very nice when it's completed. Many thanks to Flyhawk for sending the kit along for review.